Scott Hamilton, who ran for the NDP in the last federal election, joins us. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Mike. How are you doing today?
I'm well. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having such an important conversation.
I agree with you that it is an important conversation, and I hope from people who hear from people like Carla and Amanda, it might give them something to think about for sure. What's your take?
Well, right now I've actually put my hat in the ring to be the councillor for Ward 7 in Cambridge for the upcoming election. And I've been door knocking for 45 straight days, about 3 hours a day. And in terms of CTS coming up, I'm going to echo what Carla actually said, where it's about 50-50 split. Like this narrative that's out there that Cambridge is uniformly opposed to a CTS site, it's not what I'm finding at doors. So, for example, on Sunday, I door knocked for 3 hours. CTS came up only 3 times. 2 people were for it, 1 was against. Yesterday, I door knocked for 3.5 hours. It came up twice, and both people were for CTS. Now, that does vary. Some days it'll come up more often, some days not at all. Some days it will be all pro, all anti. But the point is that the Cambridge community does seem fairly divided on it. And where I think that split lies is if I knock on a door, and this has happened in Ward 7, and someone said, well, my son was playing hockey, he got injured, he got addicted to, let's say, Percocet, and he became an addict. If that family has direct experience with the nature of what an addiction is and what treatments are offered, they tend to be, you could say, more pro-CTS. If someone has not had a direct experience or doesn't know anyone that's been affected by addictions, then they tend to go what's just circulating on social media or what headlines are in the news. And so they tend to say, oh, well, they're just enabling addicts, send them to a farm. This is clearly a problem of work ethic. It's their choice. Because, again, they don't know the scope of how powerful the addiction is. So I think it's very important to get that out there, that there is this ongoing dialogue and conversation in the community. And I think a lot of it is due to the fact that we need to eliminate a lot of the misinformation that's circulating out there on social media platforms like Facebook and let Cambridge know that everyone wants our town to be healthy, clean, safe. We want revitalized cores, but we're not going to do it by cutting each other down and exacerbating existing differences. We need to get to the bottom of this using local experts, people that have experience, and people that have essentially given their working lives to try to solve social problems like this. So let's cut down on the misinformation, go to the experts that really have spent their lives practicing and trying to help people with addictions, and we can go from there. We can work as a community.
Scott, that's very well said. Thanks so much for weighing in, and good luck in the by-election.
Thanks so much, Mike. Appreciate this conversation again. Have a good day.
You as well. Bye-bye. Scott Hamilton joining us and says it really well. Maybe it is 50-50, but I'm essentially calling on you right now, Cambridge, and whatever side you're on, because I get it. I really do. But it's fair to say, and I have sat here in my ivory tower in Kitchener and taken shots at Cambridge for quite some time now for its refusal to allow a CTS site to date. Quite frankly, I think you have to really allow something in a core, and I understand the reluctance. I do, but goodness gracious, it's about saving lives. And in the city of Kitchener, the CTS that's been established is in the city's core. You can't move it so far away that the people who need it most can't access it or won't access it. And I recognize completely, again, the counterintuitive nature of a CTS site. But what Scott touched on there is, I think, the most important point. We have to really wrap our heads around and understand what addiction really is. And he talks about families who have a close connection to it. My son hurt himself playing hockey, got addicted to Percocet. That's why we see Carla in here with her niece. She watched what happened to her niece, so there's that close connection. I always come back to a story that I read in the newspaper as we began to talk about the opioid crisis in this country. And it was a salesperson, but it was a successful man who had a well-paying job, who was involved in a car crash, got addicted to painkillers and lost everything. Like, the guy was making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And the next thing you know, he was homeless because he got addicted to those painkillers. I think that's the face of addiction we really need to understand a little bit better.